Okie dokie. Now that things are up and running a little bit, this will be a little bit of a recap, so to say, of the ongoing tournament of 2024 Christmas. And I will not cast all of the games, as I do have other stuff to deal with IRL. So I will just cast a few of them. I have renamed the files so that there will be less spoiling up ahead, depending on if you're trying to count how many games there are. So you don't know if it's going to be a 3-0 or 2-1 kind of deal. The matches are all best of 5 in the upper brackets, and in the lower brackets it's a best of 3. It's a double elimination tournament. Let's switch this to games and make sure that the game is being picked up. In a second here at the release. Also, I don't have any music on. There we go. Replay theater. Interesting way to count. Makes sense, but nonetheless. Yeah, okay, it works nicely. Fantastic. Hold on. Without any further ado, I suppose we'll just jump straight into it. Even I have now lost track on who wins what and so on and so forth, so I've not watched these replays before. Starting off, for this tournament cast, we will have Alvin versus Dachi. Dachi spawning in as the Purple Empire, and Alvin spawning also in as an Empire, but as red. Starting off with an Empire mirror match. Not the most exciting, but who knows? Maybe these players will do something fancy. I will also take this opportunity to thank the community who has sponsored the tournament. We got a bit of money from Zed and Other Dawn, as well as Cybert and Rage of Heat. And myself included. I probably should double check if there was another name on that list, so while the Empire players here are duking it out between each other and getting the game established, I'm gonna quickly look that up on my phone. Alvin, no, Dachi are interested in trying to steal the oil derrick from Alvin Tay. Tankbusters coming out for Alvin and Dachi. They're going both to go for the sudden transport and Tengu spam. The oil derrick successfully gets stolen. Most unfortunate for Alvin. As now Alvin would have to make another dojo if he wants to take it back, or he has to go and kill it. In either case, Dachi is now just getting a bit of an upper hand. Tengu's out for both teams. No harassments immediately. The oil derrick will be destroyed by the tank busters. There we go, let's see. Rage, Cybert, me, said, Other Dawn. No, I did mention all the people who donated. So thank you to all those who have donated to the tournament. We reached a prize pool of $265, which is going to be split among the top 5 players, as well as a total of 3 random draws. Both oil derricks will be eliminated by Alvin Tay, and Alvin Tay tries to go for the harassment, but seems to be caught out in the open by Dachi. Oh, That's the sudden transport from Dachi. Oh no. I actually genuinely thought that was a Tengu from Alvin. In any case, Dachi having a major upper hand now, only needs to worry about these sudden transport. If the tank bursters get into a proper position, Alvin can get back into the game, but it's not looking good for him right now. The Tengu is going to go for the harass on the Ore Collector. Alvin has to react immediately. But he isn't. There we go, now he is. The Honorable Discharge does some major damage to that Ore Collector. And the other Ore Collector is being harassed as well. And the Burst Drone gets a kill on the Ore Collector. And the Tank Buster's being eliminated. This looks like it's game right now. And the last Ore Collector goes down with it. Yeah. Dachi will be taking game number 1. There's the cell of the refinery. And it's very unlikely now that Alvin will be able to come back from this. Yeah, he's completely out of cash because he's producing from these two at the same time. I don't think Alvin has noticed that he's completely out of cash. Oh. But down goes the Mecha Bay. And the refinery thereafter, soon after. There we go. Game number 1 goes to Alvin. No, to Dachi. This might just be a lot of Empire mirror matches. Yes, it is. It's just going to be a lot of mirror matches here. Spawning in the top right hand corner as the Purple Empire, we got Dachi. And as the Yellow Empire, we got Alvin Tay. Depending on how they did the map elimination, this might have been the second game map of choice or just a loser picks. Or neither, and people just agreed. But either way, we're on Battle Blaze Beta. A little bit of a larger map, making flanking and sneak attacks a little bit more viable. But since they're in a mirror match, it's equally viable for both. Old Eric secured for Dachi a little bit sooner than Alvin, so an ever so slight economic lead. Not that economic lead will make a big difference. The Imperial Warrior gets a kill with its Banzai charge. For those unaware, when the Imperial Warrior has used its ability, it's a timer. And for a little bit of time, the sword will actually be what is used to attack, and it has a very, very tiny radius until it swaps back. So if an infantry goes a little bit too close, it just gets killed. Lots of infantry trading. Not too many tank busters, just seems to be one. But quite a lot of Imperial Warriors from Alvin Tay. He might have overspent a little bit here. But no, he's just gonna get to the civilian structure and destroy the oil derrick. Just to be extra annoying and tedious. Actually looking and seeming interested to fight, but does not want to land while there's a mech there to repair. Just opts to try and save the oil derrick a little bit too late. As both players try to find an opportunity to go for a flank attack. Tachi goes in for the harassment. 2 Tengus in one and 1 Tengu in the other. Successfully pushes them out as Alvente returns his Tengus to go for the kill and secure the 2 Tengu kills. 1 Ore Collector does unfortunately get killed. And he does not reactivate his Ore Collectors immediately. There we go, Alvin. With an ever so slight Tengu advantage right now. Actually, is it not? 3, 6, 7. No, it's equal actually. The Imperial Warriors cost them a Tengu advantage. Even though he lost his Ore Collector, he could have had a Tengu advantage and as such tried to get a comeback there. But it's equal, so Dachi just has a major advantage right now. Down goes the oil derrick. Another Tengu comes, but all of them went up in the air, so this is not looking good for Alvente right now. Honorable discharge, does it get the kill? No, no it does not. The Ore Collector has almost been rebuilt, but he's also interested in building some Tengus. Tachi could just land over here, do some damage to the MCV, or land over here and do some damage to the power plant and the Tengus. But he seems only and mainly interested in the Ore Collectors themselves. Which is fair enough. Distracting the Tengus and securing a few kills, trying to utilize the Honorable Discharge to its maximum effect. Doesn't really work into the favor of Dachi here. However, he does get a kill on the other Ore Collector. Point defense drones up and running. Where's the point defense drones for Alvin? He needs them now. There they are. And he needs to reactivate his Ore Collector ASAP. But that there was a costly mistake. He lost a Tengu he should not have lost. The harassment is back and running again. Oh, Tengu in the sky. Tengu gets shut down. The ground escape. And 3 new Tengus arriving. Yeah, honestly at this point it is just over for Alvin. He's too many Tengus behind. 2 Tengus and an Ore Collector versus 6 Tengus in this base. About to be 7. MCV cell. And a refinery cell. Ooh. And there's the sudden transport, but does he... Oh, he's going with the engineer. He's gonna try and steal, capture something from Alvin. But that might be a little bit too late as these Tengus push in and eliminate the Ore Collector and other buildings alike. Well, in the meantime, let's see if this sudden transport has some sort of success. Has it been spotted? Yes, it did. And Alvente throws in the towel. And with that, Dachi is on match point. Should he win this round here, he will be moving up in the brackets, and Alvente will be moving down to the loser brackets. Assuming the colors are the same, they are. Dachi spawns in at the bottom right corner of Deep Sea, and Alvente spawns in at the top side, both as Empire, and Alvente yet again changing his color, most likely playing as random color. Dachi opting to go for quite a few dojos, being a little bit more aggressive. Might try and go and steal the oil derrick immediately again. And Alvente, in the meantime, however, has gotten out a Mecha Bay core, opting to get a faster Mecha Bay up and running. Dojo moves in, he sees the tank busters, he sees the Imperial Warriors, he knows he has the infantry advantage currently. Well, never mind. The Mecha Bay has been deployed. It's only a matter of time now. The engineer pops out and the oil derrick will be stolen. And with that, Dachi is now getting his Mecha Bay up and running. Alvente seeming to build his engineer back, wanting to get back his oil derrick. As the burst drum from Melvin gets a nice scout off. But does not survive. And neither does Dachi's one, but does not slow down the ore collector even at all. Sun transport has been spotted, takes a little bit of damage from the tank buster. Nicely done from Dachi using formation move. If you use formation move with a unit that is faster than your own unit, it will match the speed of the slower unit, making sure that the sudden transport looks like and acts like a Tengu. Tank busters on the low ground, unable to seem to shoot the oil derrick. As Alvente moves his Tengus in on the right side of the map, Dachi sees that he has the upper hand. Nice, the Tengu leaves, as the ore collector leaves as well. Where did the sudden transport go? Ah, it killed the oil derrick. And likewise, the sudden transports on both sides will go and do some major damage. Alvente loses his ore collector. And the ore collector from Dachi is disabled for quite some time now. So that money-wise might just be equalized right about now. Alvin, come on. Use the tank busters. Come on. Right here. I believe in you. Come on. Well, he's using them. The send transport of his opponent. Loses 2 of his tank busters for completely free. Or 3 of them. But does succeed in killing a few of the Tengus in return. In the meantime, he has successfully sacrificed some of his Tengus to kill the ore collector that Dachi sent back to reactivate, so It has been completely equalized in the money. But Alvin Tay has a slight Tengu advantage. 7 versus 5 existing. So if Dachi is not careful right now, Alvin Tay will get away with the victory in this one. Trying to get rid of the Sun Transport, but it is quite a fast unit. Both players seeming to be interested in getting their point defense drones up and running as efficiently as possible. Do we see it now? No? Not yet. Just a lot of waiting around now. Suppose there's downtime in some of the games. But yeah, both players opting to go for point defense rounds and waiting for it patiently. Alvin going straight for the Ore Collector faster than Dachi. Dachi will do the same. Sun Transport shows up to assist as the Ore Collector is successfully killed by the remaining Tengus. MCV packed up to try and assist for some crushes most likely, as the Ore Collector from Alvin successfully escapes. Power plant being focused down. With no real movement, the Tengus can just easily get back up into the air and escape, as the tank bruisers move forward manually in an attempt to get the Ore Collector. With the first Ore Collector yet again being harassed, but being near the Mecha Bay, allowing it to quickly get some repairs. And the other one getting attempted to be killed yet again as well. Honorable Discharge does not secure the kill here. He needs to overcommit here if he wants to get both of the Ore Collectors killed right about now. But Alvin Tay, who's just continuing to mass produce Tengus, is just content on making sure he has the Tengu numbers. And he's making sure of that quite well this game. There's the point defense round again. Unless Dachi lands, he will not be able to activate point defense drones. If he's spotted, he will be hunted. And that's the end of that replay. I believe Dachi forfeited right there, as he's the one who uploaded the replays. And as a result, gave up in the end. So that will bring the score to 2-1. And will bring us to Industrial Strength. What's Industrial Strength in the map pool? Can't remember. Let's check. It was, yeah. Can't remember what map I chose. In any case, same colors for Dachi. Spawning in on the left side of the map as the Purple Empire, we got Dachi and his opponent. Taking the previous game, we got Orange Alvin Tay. Since Dachi is still at the match point, as long as he wins this one, or even the next match after that, should he lose this one, he will still be able to move up, and Alvin Tay will be forced into the loser's bracket. But for Alvin Tay to force Dachi into the loser brackets, he has to win this one and the next one. And with the current losses of troops as well as delayed oil derricks on either side, this is looking so far rather evenly. Mekabay coming up for Dachi. Mekabay already up for Alvin Tay. No sun transport from what I can see. Just some Tengus. Still no sun transport? Interesting. An attempt on stealing the garage in the middle though, as Dachi has successfully secured it, but fails to actually build an Imperial Warrior to clean up the infantry nearby, losing an engineer immediately. And Dachi just slowly killing the oil derrick. This is not looking good for Alvin Tay right about now. And because of the garage, he does not really have to be in the sky itself. He can just remain on ground and push in. Any damage he takes is just going to be healed off. And down goes the Tengu. If Alvin Tay does not get something done ASAP, this is not going to go well for him. The garage is just going to keep on healing the Tengus, constantly giving him an upper hand. He's not really seeming to be interested in too many fights though. It's just making sure he's getting the Tengu number advantage going for him though. Focus fire here is nice and clean. Just casually healing up his Tengus on the front line. As well as keeping the garage, it also makes it much harder for the Ore Collector to get killed, allowing the Ore Collector to fight the Tengu head on. And there is the forfeit from Alvin Tay, pushing Dachi up to round number 3, and Alvin Tay down to the loser bracket. Round 1 and round 2 has taken place at the same time, as there were not a correct amount of players for a clean round 1 start. We had a total of, 19 people who decided to join the tournament. So that is always nice to see. But as it's gonna be, we are moving on to the next 2 people in line. And those people will be Latex and, was it Barat? I will actually have to double check who uploaded those numbers, since I do not know. Let's see. No, it's Pencil Boy. Ah, there we go. So it's Pencil Boy versus Latex. Latex is, let's see, who is Empire. Alright. Latex is a player who used to play actively in the past, from what I've understood, and has decided to return to the game in more recent time. He recently joined the previous tournament, and has also decided to join this one. So we might see more of him in the future. Pencil Boy is apparently a player from the Chinese community, and decided to join this tournament, and I believe has joined Chrono Clash in the past, but other than that, I do not really know this person, so can't really say much for his playstyle or anything really. So I suppose we will all learn something together here today. How does Pencil Boy play? Lots of early infantry from one another. Just overall some standard gameplay, trying to get to each other's oil derricks and secure the civilian structure. Quite a lot of bears from Pencil Boys though, in the beginning. I was surprised that he made that many bears against Empire, really, as the Imperial Warriors can try to trade against them rather efficiently. The Imperial Warriors clear out the civilian structure, just opting to not lose this oil derrick at all, as the Flag Troopers wanting to, but decides to back away from the dojo. Third ref already up and running for Latex. He's opting for a 3 ref before mecha kind of playstyle. Do not get that confused with the triple ref opening. Difference being between spamming a lot of infantry in the beginning and seeing the situation, and then going for the third ref, and immediately starting off with 3 refineries. 3 ref before mecha tends to be a little safer, even though it may be a little bit slower. A nice clean Imperial Warrior usage there, as the stun is not applying to Imperial Warriors who's using their ability. Third ref up and running for Pencil Boy, as the Molotovs gets thrown and clears out the garrison. Dojo Core does not get any crushes. Does some fancy movements though. Doesn't even hit the stationary one. There we go. 4th ref already. Damn. Latex. You greedy. Oh! He wants that money advantage, and he wants that bad. Dojo Core gets killed by the lone flank trooper, as the war factory is now finally built for Pencil Boy, and a crane has also been built. Fully scouted by the burst drone. I think Pencil Boy will try to go for a very aggressive place there, deploying some structures nearby. Yeah, he's building some walls, so he's gonna probably just build a Tesla coil on the back of this or something. The Tengus looks for a clean kill on the ore collector. They find a nice open ore collector here. Tengu, however, is going to get locked down by the terror drone, and the repair drones is going to make that kill extremely difficult to get. In the meantime, however, the MCV drives around, enjoys his life. No stolen weapons, but a Tengu kill nonetheless. Infantry not interested in chasing the MCV onto the water or just overall down the high ground, wanting to just keep the civilian structure secured, forcing hammer tanks to back off. Tier 2 is out for Latex, going into VXs and not so many. There's a tsunami tank. VXs and tsunami tanks in combination as the Tengus move forward and finding the MCV. Trying to do a little bit of chip damage to it. Light might want to get a few more tank busters into the mix, yeah, to be able to deal with the hammer tanks fast enough, should Pencil Boy opt to go for grinder treads. The flak cannon will be in production, and the MCV will not be killed as a result. However, Latex needs to be extremely careful of Desolate the Airstrike right about now. There it is. If he does not see this, does he see it? He does not. Yeah, he does. Barely, but terribly. He moves his troops back in, losing way too many infantries here. Trying to take a fight that he otherwise would have won. This is not looking good for him. Terror drone just stopping the tsunami tanks from advancing. However, the tsunami tanks are making short work of the infantry by just simply crushing them. And the hammer tanks soon thereafter. Latex, who got put in a really bad spot, managed to win that fight. And he would have utterly demolished that fight if he had noticed the Desolate Airstrike a little bit sooner. But that at the very least tells Latex that he should not need to worry about grinder treads for a little while. Wall spam, wall swag, whichever term you want to use, it's always an effective method. You should at the very least put the tank busters on an aggressive stance or something to slowly chip away at this. But he seems more interested in just fighting the troops and go for the kill on the production. MiGs out and about. None of them getting killed by the VXs, as Pencil Boy and Latex has equalized their income at the very least. Finally the wall gets killed, but the fight of the units starts right after anyways. Hammer tanks getting some juicy kills on the Tengus and VXs. VX goes up in the air and just immediately gets killed off as the hammer tank starts leech beaming away the tsunami tanks who can't escape. Securing themselves some extra weapons. Beautiful roar from the bear. Stopping the tank busters from doing any real damage. And down goes the entire army from Latex. Latex needs now to rebuild his army and advance with a completely fresh army. However, that might be a bit difficult with a new Desolate Airstrike coming up very soon and a heavily fortified hammer tank army. A total of 3 of them has managed to successfully steal a tsunami tank cannon. Fifth refinery up and running for Pencil Boy. A slight economic advantage for Pencil Boy. And the 5th refinery core is available, but doesn't seem to be wanting to move. Actually, what is he making there? Latex? Okay, good. I was really concerned that he would have been trying to make another refinery core and didn't see what it was. Nice, clean, Desolate the Airstrike. Clearing out some of the nearby garrisons. No anti-air, so you could simply send one singular twin blade to slowly clean this up. However, he's opting to just simply bring his entire army, really. Still no grinder treads, but crushes are crushes. There's less infantry for Pencil Boy to worry about as Tsunami Tanks tries to go for crushes of them all. But it's not gonna be enough, and Pencil Boy takes the win. Which brings us over to game number 6, which is played on Infinity Island. No, wait, what? Hold on. Did I name these incorrectly in order now? Excuse me for half a second here. Okay, that one is Apparently that's game number 7. There we go. Apparently I named these in the wrong order for half a second there. A little bit unfortunate, but what can you do, right? That's it. So, we got Latex spawning on the right-hand side as the Green Empire versus Pencil Boy as the Blue Soviets. I was about to say Blue Empire there as well. On the left side. No fancy bunker in the middle. Latex doing... No, seriously, Latex, what is this? You're not allies, you're not Soviets. You don't need to walk your engineer. You can just deploy it right here. I suppose he only wanted one dojo, and that it's... If it works, it works. Burst rounds successfully fully scouts and slows down the ore collector ever so slightly before it ultimately gets killed. Sickle already out on the field. No Mecha Bay inside as he went for a third rev immediately again. This is not going to be great. Terradrone moves in and cleans up some of the Imperial warriors. If Latex doesn't get his Mecha Bay out ASAP, this is just game right here. Three sickles and one Terradrone. Mecha Bay is deploying. Should have just deployed it immediately. But opted to travel. Successfully kills the oil derrick. Crane has been built by Pencil Boy and goes for the super reactor. Mecha Bay has now been... Yep, now there's the game. Latex being a little bit too greedy there. Not sending in a second scout to make sure that he can successfully do this. But that's Infinity Island for you. It's a little bit of a shorter map than Battle Base Beta. And with that, I will just quickly download this one again. Documents. It doesn't tell me which map it was at either, so I can't know what I renamed it accidentally to. Out, back, and there's game 3. Ah, it's this one. It was game 9 apparently. Alright, well... Then I know that. Which takes us to Mir's Landing. Pencil Boy being on match point, spawning at the top right corner with yellow Soviets. Latex, Green Empire, yet again. Map of choice, spawning in on the left side of the map. I hope Latex has learned his lesson from last game and not being too greedy. While sending a third refinery here immediately could work, it is not as easy to protect against a Terradrone since you can't wall it off. Pencil Boy in the meantime, opting to just play a very standard playstyle as he sees the engineer. He doesn't act upon it. Does he send some new bears? No. Latex, you're not Soviets or allies. You don't have to move your engineer manually. Ah well, as long as you get the oil, that's all that matters. Mecha Bay coming up. much faster. Playing a little bit more of a standard way besides the infantry opening there. Crusher Kane actually. Being fully constructed soon, opting to allow him to build 2 buildings at once and repair his vehicles. Sickles, Terror Jones, and conscripts move forward, but can't advance further, just met with superior firepower. However, they just opt to go for the oil derrick, it seems. No damage done. Tengu's landing and just immediately gets forced to stand still by the Terror Drone. One Terror Drone gets cleaned up immediately, and the Terror Drone forces another one to stand completely still. One Sickles get cleaned up, but it's not enough. Tier 2 is now here for Latex, as Pencil Boy opts to just capitalize on his crane building power and sends his MCV forward to the 4th expansion. Actually, no, he's just gonna push. He takes his lead and he capitalizes on it. No hammer tanks as of now. 3rd rev fully established, so hammer tanks moving forward. MCV puts in reverse, turns around and gives full throttle. Terror moving forward to try and assist. Not seeming to find an opening as there's 2 mid-Imperial warriors. Barracks is gonna get constructed as the hammer tank shows up to the party. MCV turns around to go for the crushes. Gets 2 crushes off. Successfully saps the hammer tank, and the 3rd crush gets completed as Latex throws in the towel, and with that, Pencil Boy moves up and Latex goes down to loser bracket. I'm actually going to remove the ones we have done. And it was this 5, right? Yep. 5, 9, and what was it? 7. Boom. There we go. Let's see if we can get back on track with that one now. A little bit of an oopsie from me there. In any case, moving on to Green Alert versus Said, however. Spotting in on the right-hand side as the late blue allies, we got Said. And the green Soviets, we got Green Alert. You having fun there, Said? Attacking the ground? Engineer for both players, oil. Nothing out of the ordinary. Both players getting their scouts off in their bases. Instead, gaining the overall upper hand, but killing 2 bears. A little bit of a standard opening here, no tier 2, just straight into War Factory. Followed up with some bullfrogs in preparation for the Air Force that is to come. Riptide out and ready. With the conscripts flying straight over to secure the civilian structure and gain some more intel. What is it getting at? Want to out of this room? Now the conscript spots the Riptide, spots the Peacekeepers and the Vindicator. The bullfrogs unleashed, the Vindicator needs to be extra careful. I'm not gonna move my camera for half a second now as I let my cat out of my room. Come on, get going. There you go. Alright. Just an MCV push immediately. Opting to immediately turret push Green Alert, trying to be hyper aggressive as the Peacekeepers move forward. Trying to remove the economy as Green Alert opts to build a Tesla coil to protect his refinery and build a barracks to assist with the infantry and turrets. Multi-gunner turret established right next to the MCV, not shooting yet. There we go. Vindicator gets a clean bombing run as the Tesla coil gets cancelled, wasting the Vindicator's bombs as well as succeeding in killing one of them with the bullfrogs. MCV forced back to the low ground as the Peacekeepers move forward. MCV seems to be completely wanting to run all the way to the water. Five bullfrogs total as the conscripts move forward to try and return the favor on this oil derrick. A nice terror drone sapping of that MCV as the Vindicator goes in for bombing run. Overkills on the hammer tanks way too hard. And in result, losing majority of their infantry in the crushes. The Riptide gets the kill on the terror drone, but now the hammer tank is fully exposed to 3 hammer tanks. 4 hammer tanks. With the bullfrog protecting them, this is not gonna be a easy situation. Boot camp deployed in the base of Green Alert as 5 hammer tanks and a terror drone is deployed. A turret gets deployed, but it's not gonna be enough. That MCV will perish. Low power, it Zeus. Tries to get it back online, but Green Alert is content on sacrificing his hammer tank for the allied MCV. Down it goes. And down goes the boot camp. And the Vindicators would follow suit. Said, losing game number 1. At the very least, tell me that I did 8 correctly. At the very least, 8 is correct. So there's that. Going to Battle Base Beta, we got Green Alert spawning at the bottom of the map versus his opponent, Zed, as the light blue allies at the top. SVE. Killing off the civilian structures immediately at the start of the game. Making sure these conscripts can't capitalize on the building to attack the oil derrick. Green Alert opting for a very standard opening of double barracks. It's also not unheard of to have double barracks allies on this map either. But Zed has opted to simply just go for one and be content on giving the middle to Green Alert. Another civilian structure cleaned up at the beginning. The two barracks gets transformed into a war factory. There's the Riptide, or more probably specifically Ripjav. It's gonna try an advance. Terrajon interested in killing dogs instead of stopping the Riptides from moving. Perfectly fine and reasonable. Civilian structure gets fully cleaned up. A little bit later, but nonetheless. Yeah, it did actually fall. Green Alert opting to go for the Fed refinery before doing anything else. No super reactor just as of now, as the Riptides go in here, trying to secure the civilian structure. Molotovs get thrown, and is now going to be unable to be used as a javelin. Just gets killed off by the conscripts. Riptide, now Vindicators gets the kill on the power reactor. And the Terrajon succeeds in stopping the Riptide from moving around and eventually getting the kill on it. War Factory deployed from Zed, seeming to be interested in getting himself tier 2 into Guardian tanks, but could opt to go for a lot more Riptides and infantry, or IFVs and infantry. No, it was tier 2, so he's going into Guardian tanks. As the Peacekeeper will continue to try and slowly kill off the oil derrick. With the super reactor up and running, the hammer tank production will now begin. Terrajon flies up to the Peacekeeper, but the Peacekeeper has spotted it and just completely kills the Terrajon. It was a nice attempt, but ultimately we just failed. Down goes the oil derrick, leaving Zed, if he just keeps holding out forever, with an ever so slight economic advantage. Cryocopter out on the field, trying to assist as the Vindicator gets cleaned up. And the Cryocopter almost gets cleaned up too. If the Bullfrogs were paying a bit of attention there, he could have gotten some juicy kills. The hammer tanks move forward, and the conscripts then... Other hammer tank shows up to assist in the fight. Successfully steals the weapon, and the Cryocopter tries to assist in slowing down and freezing down the units overall as the Vindicator gets completely wasted. And Green Alert is slowly but surely securing himself a major foothold here as the orbital drop comes down, doing major damage to the airbase. which will allow Green Alert an easier time just completely cleaning it up, preventing Vindicators from rearming. With the Bullfrogs camping where they are camping, you will be able to slowly kill off the Cryocopters with more Bullfrogs reinforcing it. Down goes the Vindicator. No more bombing runs. Hammer tanks not in a good position. The Guardian tanks are getting so much damage down here. Terror Drone succeeds in killing the Guardian tank. Does not get another infect. Guardian tanks and Cryocopters pushing forward to meet Bullfrogs and one singular Hammer tank. Green Alert in the meantime has opted to just expand, getting himself a 4th expansion, playing for the long game. Both players losing the oil derrick. And said, instead of getting some damage done over here or through the main path here, has just opted to scout around and see if he's expanded, but doesn't find anything, as the only thing that can go out on the water right now is the Riptide and Cryocopters. Construction of the crane gonna be very helpful in keeping their units alive. As the IFV's Apollos and Cryocopter shows up with seemingly high technology, with how quickly they freeze stuff. You can double check that. Yep. Zed has opted to get high technology, making sure that Cryocopter freeze their targets a lot faster. As well as making Guardian Tank's Laser Painter make other units do double the damage instead of just 50% more damage. Terror Drone going on an adventure. What is this, fellas? What are we waiting on? Orbital drop. Does it hit and connect with the Prospector? No. Oh, does a bit of damage, but other than that, no. However, the refinery is now completely exposed, and Zed would have to move his MCV back down or deploy something to get some walls up. Civilian structure just getting leached down. Not really doing anything, but removes a little bit of line of sight as the Peacekeeper gets moved over to a different civilian structure. Twin Blades out on the field now. Going to combine them with the Bullfrogs into a Twin Frog combination as the Apollo moves in to try and intercept. But it's just met with the Bullfrogs. Cryocopters are very interested in the Terror Drone, but doesn't really seem to find it that quickly. But freezing it is not going to do much. You should have had the Cryocopters over here right now. Shrink and freeze the units accordingly. Tier 3, I've said, going for Phoenix Cannons as the Twin Blade secures a kill on the Guardian Tank, and the IFE secures a kill on the Twin Blade. There's the Vindicator. MCV moving around as Green Alert is now on 5 refineries. Tier 3 is being attempted. Is Green Alert trying to get his Tier 3? No, he is not. He's content on being on Tier 2 and Tier 1. The hammer tanks move forward, spotting all these ground troops moving forward here. As the flak cannon will be very quickly frozen. However, all of those ground units will also be killed right thereafter. As the bullfrogs move forward and get some major damage down to the crowcopters and cleanly kills both of them. And cleans up the other vehicles as well, giving Green Alert a major advantage there. However, he's kind of locked into position here now as the hammer tanks can't easily escape. But, never mind. I was about to say he could take the fight here, but the Mirage tank showing up is making that a little bit extra difficult. So, majority of these Green Alert units will die now as the Aegis shield gets deployed, protecting the other units. Does he succeed in stealing the weapon? He does steal the weapon. No, he does not. It failed. The unit that already had a weapon stole the weapon. However, Green Alert gets some major damage done, killing off Athena Cannon after Athena Cannon. Even managing to escape with a heroic, well, almost escape with a heroic hammer tank. Green Alert succeeds in doing more damage to Zed than Zed could do to him, as Green Alert is now on his 6th refinery. With no battle lab inside, but low power. That is there. Akula subs is going to be produced and destroy the naval expansion, putting Zed down to 3 refineries instead of 4, and giving Green Alert twice the income to Zed. Vindicator goes in, but just spots the flak cannon and leaves. Orbital downpour? Yeah, orbital dump actually. Goes in, kills the turret, does some major damage to the refinery as the Vindicators and Cryocopter combination cleans up the Akula sub. Cryo shot taking place on the refinery, now the naval yard, as a new Guardian tank shows up to try and sabotage the economics from Green Alert. As the naval yard just gets sold off. No need to keep it around if it's just gonna die. For nothing, as a terror drone shows up and deals with the Guardian tank very nicely. The Ore Collector will live, but it will live on very low HP. So it will not be nearly as effective when it comes to collecting resources. Zed is interested in moving his units down to the low ground and face Green Alert's expansion. Vindicator's taking a reasonable amount of damage from that one singular flak cannon. As the MCV gets packed up, putting him into low power. The MCV moving forwards, Zed can do some major damage here, but needs to be careful so he does not get crushed. Cleans up some of the infantry in the nearby vicinity. As Green Alert in the meantime takes the opportunity to push Zed at the same time. Zed might be doing a little bit of damage to him, but he has so much money he would not even care if that expansion were to perish. As in return, he's doing more damage to Zed than Zed is doing to him. One Athena cannon remaining here is all he would really need. Naval Yard coming up and producing Akula subs. Cryo shot coming down, freezing only one hammer tank temporarily as the bullfrogs clean up the Apollo. And the twin blades move around, destroying power plant after power plant. With the hammer tank protecting it from the IFVs. 3 Cryocopters goes for the freeze as the Vindicator doesn't die, doesn't take too much damage. Bullfrogs gets cleaned up by the Cryocopters and Mirage tanks together. However, down to 3 refineries versus 5 refineries. It's not looking too great. Did he try to activate someone somewhere else? Oh no, he protected his Aegis shield from the Twin Blade, which is still just gonna die. Javelins trying to do a little bit of damage to the Twin Blades. IFV's moving forward to try and force the Twin Blades away from Zed's main army. Bullfrogs in return just getting killed. The Terror got killed by the splash, but Zed did not realize that fast enough and killed his own IFV. Is there a battle lab yet? Still no tier 3 from Green Alert. He's doing just fine without it. Sputnik going to expand to the water refinery from Zed. Might as well get back up to 6 ref advantage as the hammer tanks and Twin Blades eliminate all of the Mirage tanks. Taking a few Twin Blade losses in return, but successfully steals 2 Mirage cannons. The Athena Cannon trying to remove another expansion. Unfortunately for Zed, this is not enough to put the Athena Cannon on Heroic, which would have allowed it to stand on the high ground here and reach this refinery. Cryogeddon comes down, only freezing the Terror Drone and a Bullfrog now. 2 Bullfrogs. And a Heroic Hammer Tank that does not get killed immediately. Green Alert successfully just prevents the multigun IFVs from going forward for a little bit longer as the different group of IFVs move forward. Successfully killing off the remaining Bullfrogs and Hammer Tanks with the Cryocopter's help. Green Alert seeming to be completely interested in getting his Twin Blade, Twin Frog combination going. He's opted to not really mass produce that many hammer tanks, which could have been quite useful right about now, or quite a few infantry could have been extremely useful right now. A lot of flak troopers, conscripts. Having such an IFE anti-air advantage right here is proving to be rather difficult for Green Alert to deal with as the Cryocopters move in. The Bullfrogs do a lot of damage. The Cryocopter goes down. Twin Blades getting shred one after another, but the Hammer Tanks, it's nowhere to be found. He just left as the Leech Beam does a little bit of damage, but the Guardian Tanks gets quite a lot of crushes. Only 1 shrink as the Hammer Tank tries to capitalize on his double weapon, but the high technology is proving to be a little bit too much. Conscripts flying to the side, trying to distract the... I don't know what that was for. Green Alert getting his 5th or 4th or whatever barracks up and running as the Vindicators all get completely wasted. As the Terror Drones fail to infect time after time. Still no refinery on the water. Still no battle lab to get a Dreadnought to deal with the base on the high ground. 1 successful infect as a new war factory is being produced in the backline. Now they're even attempting to build a Tesla coil over here or something. Green Alert looking to be in a very tough position right now as the flak troopers are being produced from the high ground to assist in this battle as Cryogeddon comes down, successfully freezing the airfield and the refinery. Zed doesn't waste the opportunity. Gets the airfield. gets the refinery, and gets the reactor. Twin Blades, in the meantime, are flying around and just getting themselves a few ore collector kills with the twin frogs that they have with them. Zed needs to be very careful not losing all of his Apollos, as the Twin Blades themselves can now just completely waste the economy from Zed. The Naval Yard is now going to be producing a new MCV, as the Sputnik has been completely sold off. Flight troopers in the civilian structure is no laughing matter, so to say, so he needs to be a little bit careful when dealing with these flight troopers. Down goes another ore collector, as the IV tries to eliminate the Twin Blade but fails to do so. Zed is now soon gonna run out of ore to collect, as the ore mines themselves are just getting depleted. So going forward from this point forward, it's just gonna keep getting harder and harder to earn money. Green Alert, on the other hand, has 3 refineries still remaining, all with a bit of money, except this one, which is gonna soon run out on a par with Zed's one. Did I? Yeah, I did hear it. Orbital downpour strikes down as the refinery itself gets cleaned off by the Twin Blades. No, it does not, actually. The 2 Twin Blades did not have enough damage to finish off the refinery before the IFV could finish them off. Green Alert, just simply rebuilding on the water, having a lot of money to gain from this. A total of 19,000 from one of them and 5,000 from the other one. Forces Zed to deal with this threat sooner rather than later. And Zed needs to clean this up, so Green Alert stops gaining money for nothing. Singular Stingray succeeds in killing the refinery itself. With the Desolate Airstrike succeeding in killing the Prospector, because Zed does not move it out of there. Apollo looking around, Athena Cannon slowly pushing. Oh, it actually barely survived. How about that? Green Alert getting himself another crane and starts to build the airfield. He's going to be interested in getting back on land. However, he could have gotten a... Well, if he builds another battle lab here now, and then a naval yard, he can get a dreadnought to just clean up any and all land expansions that he wishes to remove. Flag troopers moving forward, interested in getting rid of that Athena cannon before he can do some real damage. However, just simply gets the Athena cannon immediately. And the IFV. Both of them. Nicely done from Green Alert. Cryogeddon coming back down on the expansion. As the Riptide is interested in sneaking all the way around to get the kills. He should not be blocking himself from getting the Akula subs into position to protect himself right now. The Tesla coil is charging up. The Riptide stopped, but it does not charge fast enough. And as a result, the refinery does survive. The battle lab is now in construction, and the Stingray mass production has begun. Down goes 2 heroic. Oh, no, actually, just 1. Now 2 heroic IFVs goes down. And the Guardian tanks force the Stingrays back onto the water. And down goes the 2 ore collectors that were remaining. Or. Now they're getting a Twin Blades back into heroic. Green Alert in the meantime, interested in getting more money income, is opting to go back to expand on the high ground. Having overall a incoming advantage over Zed right now is going to prove quite useful, as the civilian structures over here are going to simply reveal to him that Zed has moved his MCV over here. Both players refusing to give up, both players low on money, but one having an income advantage over the other. It's going to make it difficult for one to win. Sid is not looking like he's in a great position. The refinery gets cancelled as the ground troops move forward. The battle lab has been constructed, no Kiro in sight. The dreadnought is being produced as the twin frogs are moving around trying to find whatever they can. Orbital downpour comes down on the refinery over here and ensures that Zed is now completely out of money the moment this civilian prospector gets killed off. Down goes the flank troopers from the building, gets some crushes off, and does a lot of damage. The IV gets cleaned off. Apollos tries to do as much damage as they can, but are just met with the Bullfrog's retaliation, and Zed calls the GG and surrenders. Game 2 goes to Green Alert. Quite a bit of a back and forth there in the end, but Green Alert just overall having such a money lead that Zed had to really outplay him to try and or to get a big enough advantage to win. Let's see if 10 is the correct one then for Green Alert and Zed. It is, okay. At this point I'm really starting to doubt if I numbered everything correctly as well. Well, alright. Spawning in at the right hand side as the Green Soviets, we got Green Alert. And the loser twice in a row now, we got Zed as the light blue allies. Taking place on Liberty Freeze. Both oil derricks gonna be quickly contested as Green Alert spamming quite a lot of bears. Quite a lot of bears. Doesn't really get any proper stuns off, it would seem. Gets one. The mark for death had already taken place. So the stun did not go through fast enough. Green Alert getting lots of juicy kills with those bears, making sure that the investment wasn't for nothing. He sees that the Zed has opted to go for the airfield. No rip jab in sight, another power plant, and Zed is now just gonna go and expand. Down goes one bear. Zed, on the other hand, sees that Green Alert hasn't finished constructing his walls and might be able to see that naval yard. He does indeed know about the naval yard. Vindicator is just interested in cleaning up the bears, trying to make sure that they will not be a threat later on. And if the Green Alert wants to get some new ones, he has to spend some more money on them. Overall though, going for the bear kills on a map like this is not a bad move. The Vindicator has to travel much further would they want to get the bullfrogs, meaning that they would just be spending so much time flying around doing really nothing. This also allows Zed to be spamming some more infantry again, and he's just met with the wall, which probably is gonna be about this big. Should Green Alert so desire. MCV gets deployed right in front of the wall that was about to be destroyed. Infantry is unable to pass through these walls until they are broken by a vehicle. That's why you can see them walking all around. And the infantry production has been moved to Green Alert's side. Green Alert, in the meantime, he's gonna return the favor by putting some pressure on Zed. Camping his airfield and having these Stingrays kill the ore collectors. Producing some infantry and turrets to make it a little bit more tricky for Green Alert to remain on the high ground. Prospector successfully gets deployed and will soon thereafter finish construction. But will it be killed before it gets deployed? Probably, yeah. Oh. There's no turret ready, so he has a bit more time. Yeah. Still camping the airfield with no new airfield in sight. Twin Blades out ready and going for Green Alert, as he has not gotten his third refinery. He is just going all out on Zed here now. Zed will have the slight income advantage should he have been able to defend himself, but he will not be able to since Green Alert is just going all out with his money into troops. 2 ore collectors have already been removed, and the remaining troops are just completely wasted. As the Stingray finds the opportunity to... No. The Vindicator said no. But the Twin Blades, however, they say yes. And with that said, is now in a very difficult position as the orbital drop is going down straight onto the power plant, limiting the areas where the ore collector could have gone. So if Green Alert moved his Twin Blades here, he could have gotten the kill on the Prospector a little bit faster there. He does go in, he does secure the kill on the ore collector, but Zed has rebuilt his first one. Or this one. Vindicator goes in for another bombing run. Successfully kills the airfield, but without an airfield themselves, they will be slowly perishing until a new airfield has been constructed. MCV is packed up and moving, so no airfield is going to be out soon, as they try to get some delaying help from the war factory, but with their positioning right there, they're not getting too much help. One Vindicator will be in a very dangerous spot as the Twin Blades succeed in killing off the oil derrick from Zed, more or less equalizing the position. But Green Alert has gotten his third ref up and running. MCV now on the low ground, not interested in expanding, he's just interested in going out So an airfield will be deployed over here. But it's just met with the bullfrogs and twin blades. Multi-gunner turret deployed, cleaning up one of the bullfrogs, doing a bit of damage to the other one as the Vindicators finally can land. No crane in sight. There's the crane. As the IFE goes in, trying to do a bit of damage to the ore collector. Armor has been activated. Reactive armor or what it was. Bullfrogs move back and the IVs move back. So Twin Blades try to clean it up and succeeds in doing so. MCV gets a crush of one bullfrog. And in the meantime, the Stingrays are moving around the map and he's just gonna sabotage the side's backline as all of his forward momentum is put right here. He doesn't even have a war factory anymore. Said, how much money do you have? Said, what's this? We're loading 3,000. Crash out comes off, but does not freeze the Stingray as two more Stingrays approach. Said, accepting that the ore collector will be killed. There's nothing he can do about it. But does not accept it enough to save his IVs. Vindicators goes in for a bombing run as the Bullfrogs and Twin Blades head in the same direction to finish the job. Even if Green Alert were to lose these two refineries, Green Alert will just simply expand and retake said's original location. Vindicator takes a bit of damage, but not enough to lose it, as the refinery just completely gets sold off. Flag Trippers get flung to the high ground, and the Twin Blades move in to kill the ore collector. Actually not. Said, not doing any damage to Green Alert's main base. Green Alert getting his next refinery up and running as the multi-gunner turrets try to do as much damage as possible. But said, without any income right now, needs to be extremely careful on how he deals with this. He's not having any troops doing any damage here or here. Like proper damage right now. Come on. So this is not looking too great for him. There is his damage. But is the MCV in range for that? No, it is not. And Green Alert can go for the crushes, but it does not, so the ore collective will just simply be cleaned up. No terror drones pops out. And a new crane is being constructed. With that, Zed can deploy his refinery and try to rebuild. Green Alert on 2 refineries currently versus Zed's 1 refinery. So now we finally start casting in regards they swapped spawns. Twin Frogs not seeming to see the Twin Blades. Finds the reactor, goes for the kill, cancels the refinery. Is fully aware of the Vindicators, but he does not really need to worry as he has economic advantage for a little bit longer until the Dolphin or Riptide pops out here. But he could simply just bring his units over here and advance. Said, most likely unaware that he still has a turret in the middle here. Hasn't sold it off and as such remains in low power. Not that even selling it off would have done anything. No, he would have actually. And down goes the ore collector as the Dolphin moves towards the next ore collector. In the meantime, however, Green Alert is not interested in defending those 2 ore collectors and is just interested in doing like Zed did. Go for the offensive. Tesla coil slowly being constructed as the twin blades secure the kill on the airfield, preventing it from rearming the Vindicators and slowly starting to kill them. With the ore collector being slowly killed off there, this is speaking the doom for said Salt Naval Yard. In an attempt to get the ore collector back, twin blade goes down, power plant takes a beating. Cryoblast completely whiffed its target. Power plant goes completely down as the bears move in to try and assist. The Riptide is carrying all the javelins and the bears needs to be on point to assist it there. And the stun comes off, stunning some of the javelins. It does not stun heroic javelins, and one twin blade goes down. And there's the orbital dump and the fire cell. Green Alert wins 3-0 against Zed, moving up to round 3, and Zed down to the loser bracket. With that, I can remove these so I don't accidentally click on them. That will take us over to the next 2 people fighting in the tournament, which will be at the release 1 Soviet. Let's see who it is. Yet again, numbers. Who is the numbers? Let's see. Green Alert. No, who was it again? Obiek. Obiek, who did you fight? Obiek fought Pencil Boy. We get to see Pencil Boy yet again. As Pencil Boy came from the round 1 area, and this is a mix of round 2 and round 1. There were a total of 6 people who needed to participate in round 1. Anyone else were already placed in round 2. Both players facing each other in a Soviet mirror match. Pencil Boy versus Obiek. Quite a lot of bears duking it out. Actually, whose color what? Yeah, Obiek is orange, gotcha. Obiek getting a little bit of a lead there. I think. I haven't paid attention to how many bears they produced there. Excuse me, bear, what the hell was that? 6 bears for Pencil Boy, 4 bears remaining for Obiek. 5 actually. Obiek getting a very nice clean scout into Pencil Boy's base, seeing that Pencil Boy has opted to slowly build towards this expansion and not move his MCV. And he's already having the War Factory. Green Alert, on the other hand, is opting to have the green War Factory. I was saying all the wrong buildings there. A little bit further back. And has... seems to be constructed the War Factory on a very lit spot. Sickles advancing. A Soviet mirror match for the ages. No walls? No walls for Pencil Boy, so Green Alert could send a terror drone from low ground here, up here now, and straight into Pencil Boy's ore collectors. He's probably unaware that he can do this, as he expects all people to have walls by now. As the sickle jumps in and is just met with the hammer tanks and the terror drone. Unable to do anything, as the beautiful sun from the bear doesn't really do anything. Green Alert, in the meantime, is now first starting to build the super reactor, but has a third refinery. So he has an economic advantage, but needs to be able to delay Pencil Boy from advancing. The sickles are going to go into Pencil Boy's base to try and distract them, and overall just not allow Pencil Boy to advance into his base. He sees that the walls are still missing and that he's now producing a Crusher Crane. The Terror Drone from Pencil Boy has been completely wasted. Moving too closely to the sickle as the hammer tank gets killed by his own troops to prevent the Terror Drone from surviving. With the Ore Collector on the top there almost perishing, that has just slowed down the economics from Pencil Boy so drastically. He should do a little bit more damage to that Ore Collector so that it goes to red HP. There we go. That was accidental as Pencil Boy shot his own Ore Collector and I moved to remove the sickle. An airfield is being produced with the airfield, now with the crane. And an airfield has been produced with the MCV from Obiak. There's the first bullfrog, first of many. No real production from Pencil Boy here, as he doesn't necessarily seem to know what he wants. He wants to expand, he wants to build other stuff, but his Ore Collector is still AFK in his base right now. This is a major mistake from him, as he's losing out on so much money that he could have been having right now. Obiak does not know about his Ore Collector, so he can't even mention it to Pencil Boy. And Pencil Boy is currently just too focused on defending that to notice that his Ore Collector is disabled. This is most unfortunate for Pencil Boy. He's slowly getting a third refinery up, but until he activates it... No, there we go. Now he activates it. Until he activated it, it would have been just 2 refineries. Sickle moves forward, he sees the construction of a barracks, he knows now the refinery is finally up and running, as Obiak has gotten his 4th refinery up and running. The Terror Drone moves forward and the Twin Blades being able to do a bit of damage to the hammer tanks before the Twin Blades pop out and force them to retreat. The Sickle in the meantime, being a little bit cheeky, doing quite a bit of damage to the Ore Collector. As Desolate Airstrike gets called in, forcing the Ore Collector to be disabled for 30 seconds. And with the Sickle continuing to harass, the Crusher Crane almost eliminated by Twin Blades. The Bullfrogs moves in and survives. Obiak is putting on quite an aggressive behavior here, trying to leave no breathing room for Pencil Boy to act. Accepting that the hammer tank can be destroyed, he leaves the Terror Drone near it to force it to stop the Terror Drone from exiting altogether. There's no need to steal the weapon. You already had a weapon. The Ore Collector, does this get spotted? No, it does not. It's too late. Back down to 2 refineries worth of income versus 4 refineries worth of income, but the Terror Drone is going to make sure that the MCV gets a juicy amount of crushes here now. No random Terror Drone surprise, as Desolate Airstrike has been the choice, and Pencil Boy, frozen in a towel, gives game number 1 to Obiak. Double checking that the players are correct. Fantastic. Spawning in at the... There we go, yeah. Blue Obiak as the Soviets in the north versus his opponent. Pencil Boy as the green allies at the bottom of the map. We're now taking place on Deep Freeze. The Liberty Freeze. For half a second there I was thinking about the previous map, which was Deep Sea. a beneficial trade to Pencil Boy, but not beneficial enough to matter in the match's outcome. Conscript's getting some nice kills on the dogs. The dogs try to advance, but they just get killed off by the conscripts. Yeah, that's not too great for Pencil Boy. Securing the civilian structure with the sacrifice of 2 conscripts. Vindicators out and ready. Bullfrogs in mass production. And Obiek ready to expand. Pencil Boy not too ready to expand just yet, as he's gone tier 2 into a cryocopter. And he tries to hide it. Is he gonna shrink his own MCV? Yes, he is. Cryocopter finally gets into OBX space, freezes the ore collector, and secures 1 ore collector kill. Does not go for the starting refinery, does not even go for the expansion refinery either, or the ore collector, just retreats. Satisfied with the 1 kill that they got, opts to once the crush has begun, you are crushed. So, a little bit unfortunate for Obiek there, but what can you do? Beautifully done from Pencil Boy. Shrinking down the Prospector to make sure it can get the repairs a little bit faster and gets back active a little bit faster. Being on red HP just slows it down, and that slowdown will eventually add up in being a little bit behind on money. 1 Bullfrog manages to finish off the cryocopter, which is not that good for Pencil Boy. Obiek seeming to be interested in expanding again or being a bit aggressive. Question, is he gonna go around? No, he's just gonna go straight to his water refinery. Alderic gets killed by Obiek. Pencil Boy opting to continue to shrink his MCV for fast movement speed. getting his 4th refinery up as well, and then just simply opting to go and build closer to OBX's main base, or rather expansion. Quite a bit of infantry has been constructed, and a terror drone is now out hunting for some ore collector kills. That's what he will find. In the meantime, the favor is being returned by a multi-gunner turret at the top side over here. As this airstrike gets called down on the airfield camping right next to the airfield, and the bear roars does wonders, as the last guardian hammer tank will just get a lot of crushers done. But no grinder treads, so he's not being repaired. And he should be using some leech beam right now, trying to protect the refinery with that. Barracks production, hammer tanks going down to the Vindicator before the Vindicator ultimately gets killed off. Tesla coil is out of range, so it can't do anything about that. 3 quadcopters available to do something, but currently doing nothing. As Obiek is just rolling through, having a grand time. And Pencil Boy throws in the towel yet again, giving a 2-0 lead to Obiek. Gonna quickly answer a text message I got on my phone, so hold on a second. Well, that was a bit of an unfortunate. All that, we will be moving on to the industrial strength then. Alright. Spawning in on the left-hand side as the orange Soviets, we got Obiek. Versus the right-hand side allies, we got Pencil Boy. Yep, I'm on the correct replay. Man, can't trust myself. Fast airfield versus double barracks opening. Technically speaking, the correct opening on many maps is double barracks against a fast air. No engineers that he can hunt, just conscripts. Trying to break through the wall, succeeding in doing so. If he had left the bear here, he would have been able to get fully through. and fails to completely get in. However, he sends more conscripts, and those conscripts will just dwindle down those walls bit by bit. And as a result, Pencil Boy is building more. He goes for the power plant, but does not bring enough bombs. Oh, he does bring enough bombs. I did not count the bombs there. To slow down the production from Green Alert, making sure that the... No, from Obiek. Making sure the... construct production slows down, giving him a fighting chance against all of these conscripts. As well as preventing Obiek from immediately rebuilding the next refinery. But judging by the amount of power he had, he was already low powered, so it did bottom out his power, but didn't ultimately make it completely zero. Bears and conscripts preventing the walls from being safely built altogether, as the peacekeepers try to do some damage. Mitigators getting some really nice clean bomb split off, removing the last bear, and conscripts finally reaching their airfield destination. Conscripts getting a bit of damage done, but not enough, as the Vindicators do a bit of a damage run to the airfield being deployed. MiGs falling to the Apollo, but Apollo falling to the MiG. The Vindicator successfully escaping the wrath of the last remaining MiG. However, the conscripts are doing some good amount of damage to this refinery. The Vindicators need to deal with this ASAP. A little bit of a buggy mess here, as the conscripts is still able to shoot through the walls. But the Vindicators will just deal with it completely. Problem solved. Two Apollos ready to do stuff now, as the airfield production is now back in action. No one still has captured this last remaining oil derrick. So it'll be interesting to see who's gonna get it after all of this. A nice clean bombing round. The MiG goes down, camping the airfield. Cryocopter moving forward, gonna go for the shrink? No? It's not gonna go for the freeze on the ore collectors and walls and whatnot. At least not yet. 3 MiGs ready to intercept anything and everything they find, as Obiek finally goes for the last remaining oil derrick, knowing it's completely uncaptured and might as well grab the money. And second airfield has been deployed from Pencil Boy. And the Apollo succeeds in escaping, but the MiGs do not. This is not looking too good for Obiek right now, as Pencil Boy is just slowly building up his aerial forces. Cryocopter finds the expansion. Does not opt to go for it. However, he returns the expansion with his own expansion. He might want to repair his Apollos to make sure they are always as powerful as they can be. Conscripts remaining outside of the civilian structure for some reason, as the Vindicators goes for another bombing run. A MiG has been slaughtered by the Apollos, and the civilian structure altogether says goodbye to one of its pieces that just flew into orbit. And OBX finds an opportunity to be a little bit cheeky with the conscripts that he used to have. Rather active, as the Tesla coil is now in production. Twin blade and MiGs here and ready to fight, but no other unit production is from Obiak here, as the Cryocopter finds the ore collector and will just go for the kill. One bomb, but it looks like three. Multi-gunner turret has been dropped, as the twin blade returns the damage on the other side of the map. The Apollos move forward to deal with that, and the twin blade needs to run ASAP. Oh, they intercept the MiGs, not the twin blade, which then leads to a successful kill. And down goes one Apollo. Most unfortunate. Obiak trying to get his crane up and running. Fix my game sound. Just got a Steam message with a message that my game sounds are somehow off. What seems to be the problem? Oops, I'll tab there. Let's take a quick listen to the YouTube itself and see what's wrong. Is there absolutely no game sound? Yeah, there's absolutely no game sounds whatsoever. Hey yo, what's going on here? What seems to be wrong? Is it not picking up the sound at all? No, it is picking it up. But is it not just sending it? Huh. Weird. That's really weird. Alright, so let's quickly try and click on this one. Not that one. Okay. Let's see if this works. In the meantime, however, might as well continue to commentate without any sound. The replay continued while we were tabbed out, apparently. Whoops. Didn't know that would continue. Let's take a look at the situation, and all 5 refineries up and running for both teams. However, one refinery was almost about to die if he had sent a proper bombing run over there now to make sure that it would perish. Peacekeepers moving forward, trying to find an opportunity to fight. The MCV from Obiak is now on the high ground. constructing a Tesla coil to try and return the favor once this refinery perishes. Pencil Boy not being tier 3, and Obieg also not being tier 3. So we will not see any dreadnoughts or aircraft carriers in this situation here. One bullfrog gets cleaned up by the Vindicators, and the MiGs try to find the Vindicators and kill them off, which they do find. The MiGs try to escape their problematic situation, runs over to the bullfrogs and try to attract the Apollos towards them, which they succeed in doing. Pencil Boy running straight into a trap and losing 3 Apollos as a result. Yeah. For RC who's messaging me on Steam, has the audio corrected itself? Because at that point, anytime I was pausing to talk or say something, then it was just completely silent. Obiak getting his naval yard up and running here. Okay, then I know what the flaw was. Okay, so the problem, for context for others, is when I separated my audio to be on 2 separate tracks to make sure that if I were to record my voice, it will be able to be separated and edited by itself. When streaming, however, that's using the same settings, and as such, you guys didn't get any background audio for some reason. So that's most unfortunate. So I will have to double check that later and correct that. In any case though, Obiect still taking quite a lot of a beating here, and the barrack engineer will succeed unless it will not succeed. Oh, yeah. The crane itself did get sold off. And the guarding tank does some major damage here. As the Javelin locks down the super reactor, Apollos tries to find the MiGs. Aquila subs being mass produced from the sideline, and Obiek overall just having an economic advantage, as well as going tier 3. With the Tesla coils currently being low power, he needs to advance, and he needs to advance fast if he wants to do some damage here. He could run around the corner and quickly kill this, but he's just opting to more quickly kill the refinery itself. Which is not enough to re-enable the Tesla coil, but the super reactor on the water is 50% produced right now. So if he wants to remain in this area, he has to eliminate this Tesla coil here. Or he can just opt to kill the refinery ASAP. In the meantime, however, the Aquila subs are not finding any opportunity because of the assault destroyers as well as the hydrofoils. The refinery gets cleaned up as well as the troops in between. They could still keep shooting at this one, since, but they couldn't approach it. Dreadnought finding its mark. As the Riptides try to find an opportunity to go and deal with the Dreadnought. Assault destroyers protecting their allied troops. And it's gonna prove to be a very dangerous thing for Obiek to deal with very soon. 2 Aquila subs, however, does successfully get into the base over here. Start to wreak havoc on Pencil Boy's base. Crygeddon comes down, and the Assault Destroyer takes the beating directly to the face. And the Stingrays does their special ability to do AoE and hit all the units no matter what. Dreadnoughts are a bit of a counter to the Black Hole Armor, as the Black Hole Armor is kind of forced to take the entire boat. Power is now back online for Pencil Boy, but it's not gonna be enough. The Phoenix Cannon did not do enough. Does even Pencil Boy know about where the MCB is? Yes, it does. He has seen it, but where he has actually seen it is yet to be seen. Power plant goes down yet again. Riptide's not following up on the Assault Destroyer. The Assault Destroyer will go down. And down goes the Riptide with it. Cryocopter's moving out to try and do something on the water. If he can knock out the remaining money, then he can do some major damage. But he's just being spotted everywhere by the civilian structures. Frozen Ore Collector, not gonna be able to do much. Vindicator gets cleaned up, so it will not die anytime soon either. Assault Destroyer getting a few shots off. Pencil Boy will be running rather low on money, while Obiak is just slowly advancing with their army. I have Fiend being nearby. Prospector, in fact, trying to expand over here or something. Interesting. As the Assault Destroyers doesn't even get on land. Bullfrog's getting some nice kills there, as the Assault Destroyers just keep missing their shots against shrunken units. However, it does get a kill on the Bullfrog, but the units on the other side are just squeezing Pencil Boy. So this seems like it will be a victory for Obiak. There it is. Okay, now that the audio is at the release working again. Why is the bot deleting all of the messages from Maximus? Alright. I don't know what happened to the bot there, but I will have to look into that as well. Seems like nothing is going my way this day. Right. Computer mouse, please cooperate. Thank you very much. We were now on that, so we'll move over to Battle Base Beta, which had to be loaded twice apparently. And excuse me. What? Okay, let me try tap back in and out. That's alright. Okay, that crashed my game. Alright. So, let's see. I don't know when. There's no timestamps for these messages here from the people who are watching. So, Pencil Boy is a person from the Chinese community that has decided to join the Christmas or the larger tournaments that we're hosting on Gamer Replays. And some people in the H2O clan knows him. Other than that, Pencil Boy is more or less rather unknown for the rest of us, so to say. So, he will be introduced today, I suppose. Let's say we were going to battle-based beta. Do I get the same problem yet again? No, I do not. Alrighty then. As a bit of a heads up, I made one major mistake when I tried to number the replays to hide the replays. You know, on who's versus who and how many games are left. I made one mistake, and that is I apparently managed to get 3 in a row with Obiak winning against Pencil Boy. So this is a match between Pencil Boy and Obiak, because there's 2 more games between them. And Pencil Boy has proven that he is capable of fighting Obiak and that he is skilled, but he's making some mistakes here and there, which is costing him dearly. So, let's see the 2 games, which I should have shown before the quote-unquote 5th game. The 2 games where Obiak lost to Pencil Boy, and how critical, how much of a difference that is. So Pencil Boy is the Soviets in this game, which seems to be his stronger faction. Doesn't seem like he's as comfortable playing allies as he's comfortable playing Soviets. But in a Soviet mirror, it's also a little bit awkward, as we saw earlier in the fight. But Obiak's strongest faction as well is Soviets. While he's a capable Empire player as well, his strongest faction is always gonna be Soviets. That's what he's been playing for years. Obiak getting his Tengus out, and Pencil Boy doing a very interesting play here by probably just completely forgetting that he sent the engineers with a Pearl. Multiple to the front. Right. Alright, in the meantime, however, Pencil Boy is just repairing his Sword Collectors and just collecting money, not really caring too much about the Tengus, as the Flag Troopers move in to assist the situation. The last engineer, in the meantime, has decided to walk all the way back home and get the oil derrick. So, Obiak, if you do watch this in the future, there was a free engineer to kill right here. In the meantime, however, you're doing some really nice, juicy damage with those Tengus. But the crane is just making this very difficult for you to secure the kills, especially when they put on the armor and you don't really do anything with it. Any damage at all. The war factory fully gets built again. The Imperial Warriors take the construction and the civilian structure back, and they just put on the armor to heal faster than the Tengu can do any damage. There's the Terror Drone, puts on the armor, audible discharge does really nothing, and just simply reactivates the ore collector. And with that, no ore collectors loss and no real mining time lost. However, V-axis has shown up from Obiak and he pushes the MCV back to its low ground position. With only one Flak Trooper and one Bullfrog to his name, that Bullfrog needs to be a little bit careful of the V-axis and Tengus that will do damage to it. However, with the V-axis being moved so poorly, both V-axis will get killed by the next Bullfrog that showed up. When you want to target something, try to give a move command towards them to make sure that the V-axis actually shoot while moving and then get into a better position. V-axis until 1.8, which will come trademark soon, as the joke goes. Until that comes out, V-axis gets blocked by line of sight. That's why V-axis are terrible against buildings that are walled off, because then they have to go on top of the thing, kind of like a hammer tank and conscripts and javelins, etc. would have to do. If this was then played on 1.8, the V-axis would have instantly shot that Bullfrog and probably gotten a lot more damage done, or even potentially the kill, without having to risk their life in such a way. Another engineer. Is he gonna go capture the observation post, or is he just gonna go repair the construction yard? Come on, Obiak, do you see that engineer? Come on. Ah, he did not go and save it, most unfortunately. But the MCV packs up and he's gonna go for the crushes. And beautifully well done. He only needs to really micro the terror drone as long as he just gives a proper move command here. Now, there we go. Well done, Pencil Boy, and the terror drone gets killed. However, the Bullfrogs will get one more Tengu. Should it jump up in the air. However, the Hammer Tank got that kill. 3 refineries versus 3 refineries. And VXs and Tengus flying out again. Trying to find an opportunity to get some damage done. Pencil Boy not afraid of risking his MCV on the front line. Not really caring that it's losing HP. Makes out probably very soon, followed up by some Twin Blades in the future. If it was producing. If anything was producing. As the 3 Tengus find the Ore Collector and tries to do some damage. However, with the reactive armor, the repair drones are just gonna make that a nightmare to kill. In the meantime, more MiGs are showing up and hammer tanks are on the way as the terror drone starts sapping away, preventing that Tengu from ever leaving the location. Trying to save his Tengu comrade, proceeds to just move into a worse position and get stunned anyway. Down goes the VX, not really getting proper crash land there, as the Tengu succeeds to escape as the terror drone stopped zapping them. But as they can't go easily up into the air, the zapping... I was gonna say, the zapping will lock down at least one more, but it ran too close. As the VXs land and kills off one of the MiGs, but losing one Tengu in the process, trying to so equalize the fight a little bit. Another MiG shows up to the party, succeeds in killing off another Tengu. You have 2 hammer tanks advancing forward, getting supported by the MiGs. Not fully dying off. Does Pencil Boy know of the expansion? Pencil Boy does not know about the 4th expansion for Obiak, but Pencil Boy is also on his 4th expansion. Not too interested in the water expansion just yet. And now he's started construction. Terror drone moves forward, successfully gets in. That's the first Twin Blade. Pops out and says hello. In the meantime, Obiak getting his 5th refinery up, and so has Pencil Boy. However, The ore collector itself will not be able to give money for a much longer time. It will, however, be able to repay the investment of 2,500 cash. So should he sell the refinery right now, he would be at 500 cash in profit. Terradrone moves out to the water as the Tengus find their mark on the water themselves. And the hammer tanks not doing anything really. They're probably just targeting the ref itself. Defender Corps getting into position, successfully deploying, where the Terradrones could have done a little bit more. Twin Blade will be caught out of position, and the Tengus will land yet again. Another airfield for even more MiGs. And the infantry in the civilian structure could have been on aggressive stance to do a little bit of damage to the construction yard. Nevertheless, some nice kills on the ore collectors. And the MiGs proving to be quite useful, but caught out a little bit in position here. But it's not enough. The MiGs do get cleaned up altogether. Pencil Boy losing 2 hammer tanks, really unfortunate. This Obiek is trying to stop these conscripts from doing any real damage in the area to the Imperial Warriors. With the Twin Blade showing up, that's not gonna be able to be capping that barracks for a much longer time. One lone Imperial Warrior, potentially gonna reach heroic. Nope. He perishes and levels up the Twin Blade instead. As the Twin Blades at MiG advance forward, trying to find more ore collectors, and Obiek has decided to get a mainframe core, getting a naval yard to try and sabotage the naval expansion and potentially get Shogun battleships. Pencil Boy, however, sees the opportunity and takes out the economy from Obiek altogether. One building at one ore collector after another. He does not go for the kill, apparently. However, he sees the Tengus that are in his base, VXs that are over there, who gets 1 kill on the Twin Blade. 1 Tesla coil right now, right about here, would have been amazing. As 1 Tengu falls to the MiGs. But he needs to be careful because there's the VXs and 1 MiG will go down. He's well aware of the expansions around the map, so he's just gonna get himself a lot of juicy kills on the ore collectors. MCV getting forced away from the location with the added benefit of the crane constructing the flank cannon as the MiG goes in and gets 2 clean kills on the VXs, losing 1 MiG in the process, and the hammer tanks go in to try and finish off the remaining VX choppers with the assistance of the bullfrogs to protect them. 2 VXs go up in the sky, 3, all of them go up and only crash lands on the last hammer tank in line. With the refinery sold off, nothing to kill there. The naval yard has only produced 1 Yara Minisub, now 2 Yara Minisubs total. The Desolate airstrike, striking himself up. As the Twin Blades move forward, Yara Minisub does not get to use its ability. And Obiek throws in the towel. Note, the replays have been uploaded by Obiek, so if it ends like that, means he is the one who surrendered. We were just on Battle Base Beta, so Let's see how it goes on Infinity Island. Obiak spawning in on the left side as the light blue Empire versus Pencil Boy as the yellow Soviets on the right hand side of the map. And for Pencil Boy, should you be watching the cast here, it seems like your matchups as Soviets overall are just much better than when you play as allies. So if you want to get out of the loser bracket and get for the win, might be a good idea to stick to your Soviets. However, your allies wasn't terrible, so hey, you might still amaze me in the later stages of the tournament. So far, seems like a fast 3 revs before mecha, but it might be a mecha bay that just pops out here now. Yeah, it's just a mecha bay. Bit of infantry, 1 flag trooper. He wanted to have the mecha bay on the high ground. An interesting choice. Terran out. Any sickles? 2 sickles. He can advance really quickly right now and just push Obiak down right now. He gets through the wall. The sickle could have done more damage. There we go. He's fully through the wall now. 2 sickles advancing. The bear getting a juicy stun off. As the Imperial Warriors are completely killed off. Terran locks down to the dojo. The walls is not going to be enough as the MCV will be forced out of there, but the Terran will just lock it down. Some nice stunning there. Doing a bit of damage to the Tengu. Advancing in all directions there. 1 Tengu falls. The MCV getting stopped in its track. 1 singular more Terran here to infect that MCV would make sure that the MCV would just slowly die even if he was busy fighting the Tengus themselves. However, he's opting to just get more sickles to make sure that he gets the win right here and right now. Down goes all of the Tengus and the MCV is now fully stopped in its tracks. And Obiak throws in the towel there. So those were the 2 games that Pencil Boy won against Obiak. Really well played and pretty well clean play of Soviets versus Empire. A few mistakes there and there, but if you don't make some mistakes, then you don't have a good time, have a good game. As an example there, Obiak made a few mistakes. Pencil Boy capitalized on them, but he made too many mistakes, so the game just ended, as Pencil Boy made no mistakes. Really well played from those 2. Let's remove those from the list. And then move over to the final matches of me streaming today. And I'm gonna quickly grab this one. Well, congratulations to Steven for catching a live stream. Just letting the other players establish themselves a little bit right now. Page 2. Oh. Game 1, 2, 3, and 4. Alright. Fantastic. Just making sure that I don't do the same mistake. Very well. This is Barat versus Sukspitze. Barat spawning as the light blue allies versus Sukspitze purple empire. Barat is a player we haven't seen in a while, participating in tournaments, while Sukspitze is a person that will every now and then show up and join larger tournaments. Mainly you will see him around Christmas tournament, as Christmas tournament has the largest prize pool. There might be a coloration there. Coloration, no. I need to practice saying that word. In any case, so far rather standard for both teams here. A little bit of a big cage for the javelin, but I suppose he didn't want to waste time establishing ground. And a little bit odd that Barrett wanted to remove the civilian structure instead of using it for his javelin. Imperial Warriors pushing forward, getting some nice engagements here as the Tengu lands. However, the Tengu will just be cleaned up, but in return all of the peacekeepers get cleaned up as well. The Imperial Warriors advance towards the Vindicators to force it out of its spot. It does have one bomb, which is why it can remain in the air right now. And he needs to put some of these on whole ground right now to be able to just deal with the dog, and then the rest can just shoot. Yeah, amazing, look at that. There is the multi-gunner turret, and he didn't react to that fast enough, unfortunately. However, some of the Imperial Warriors got away and would be able to do some damage to the power plant. So Spitz in the meantime has been just mass producing a lot of Tengus, and he's willing to take that fight. Cleanly kills the Vindicator, cleanly kills the Apollo. Oh. Kills that Apollo. No. Both Apollos gets away. Damn. And spots that the MCV is pushing up. As the Peacekeeper gets cleaned up, the Tengus remain nearby to assist. Tengu lands and harasses. But it's not enough. The Imperial Warriors continue to do a little bit of damage. The Tengus land on the MCV, trying to force it out of there as he keeps sending Tengus. While Tengus are not an anti-building unit, do not underestimate how much damage they can actually do. If he deploys the turret here, he can just go over here and continue to shoot. Since he's now low power, what Suxpizzi can just continue to do is just remain on the side where the turret is not. And continue to do damage to the MCV, bring it down to red HP. However, he's content on just fighting the Apollos and Vindicators head on. Getting 2 nice clean kills. And the Vindicator. As an airfield has been moved forward, 3 javelins pops out, and the 2 injured Tengus are returned home. As a risky engineer play secures him the oil derrick and gives him a little bit of an economic opportunity. Suxpizzi in the meantime gets a clean kill on the ore collector at the top there, even though it's not dead yet. There we go. And in the meantime, he just slowly but surely cleans the remaining oil derricks up. And power plant. And down goes the ore collectors. No more money income outside of the oil derrick. So each second right now is going to cost a lot if he doesn't get it back up and running. Seven new Tengus, 2 Tengus dealing with the last oil derrick. This is not looking good for Barat. Receiving data. Alright. Stand by, we're receiving data. There we go. And the Tengus just wins the game. Quite a timing to get receiving data, like 3 seconds before the game ends. Thank you, Red Alert 3. Game 1 goes to Suxpizzi. Game number 2 takes us to Industrial Strength. Barrett is still playing as random, and he got Soviets this time around versus Suxbeats' Empire. Light blue Soviets, Barrett in the bottom left corner versus Suxbeats' Blue Empire in the top hand right corner. So far, a rather standard opening for Empire, as well as a very standard opening for Soviets. Flag Troopers looking around for dojos, only finding the Imperial Warrior. As the Imperial Warrior is not switching to gun fast enough to kill the Engineer. Flag Troopers casually killing off the burst drone, but the burst drone says no you and uses its ability and kills the wall and the flag trooper in one go. Quite a cost-efficient burst drone. Suxbeats in the meantime, trying to look for an opportunity with his Tengus to strike, but for the time being, just waits until he gets a little bit more. He sees everything that Barrett is having, and he can't fight a hammer tank in the middle of his base just yet. The Bears move in and try to get some nice scouts off. Succeeds in killing one Imperial Warrior, but loses his life in a trade. The Tank Busters have decided to show up into the match. The Tank Busters dealing with the Terror Drone as well. With an overall good cost ratio on that trade right there. Another Terror Drone shows up, with the infantry still being mass produced over there. And the Tengu is trying to find and hunt down the remaining Bears. Obiek. No, Barrett, however, decides to expand to his enemy's water expansion. Trying to go for a little cheeky play of being in a position where his enemy does not expect him to be. However, Suxbeats is probably be well aware of it, since Barrett has not made any attempt to remove the expansion location there. Flag Trooper sacrifices his life to eliminate the Tengu. As Suxbeats gets some nice, clean kills with the Tank Busters, and he needs to go underground ASAP. He does so. And the Tengu needs to go and assist in escaping. Not so by much though, apparently, as the Bears, no, the Tank Busters get in. Hammer Tanks nicely steals the Bullfrog's gun before it perishes, making sure that he can maintain a little bit of anti-air around his Hammer Tanks. One Bear gets cleaned up by the Tank Busters as the VXs move out to hunt the MCB. He finds the MCB, 3 VXs, gonna do a lot of damage here. And it seems like he's gotten quick defense drones, or he's still waiting to shoot something. There's the MCB cell. The water refinery is now completely fully exposed. And he has to deal with an airfield and a war factory. Should Suxbeats succeed in killing either of them or both, then it is not going to go well for Barrett. However, Barrett does get the sellback value and can then punish Suxbeats with a massive 2,500 extra cash. But as we've seen in the past, 2,500 extra cash does not matter if you do not use it properly. With that, the refinery goes down. There's no crane, there's no barracks. Now there is a barracks, actually I did not notice that, so he can still capture the garage and capitalize on a lot of hammer tanks and bullfrogs and sickles. But he's not going to. He's going to try and utilize Twin Frog as the units of choice. However, the Tengus will just easily kill some of them and just escape. The infantry in front is just making it a little bit of a tricky situation to move around the map. And with no MCV, that means no top secret protocols to be utilized. One Twin Blade goes down and one Tengu goes down with it, but the last Tengu will just force the bullfrogs out of there. As he tries to do a little bit of damage. The VXs in the meantime are just waiting. Bullfrog gets fully cleaned up. And the Twin Blade tries to move into the position to kill the remaining Tengus. Succeeds in killing one of them, as the VXs just land and does a bit of damage to the Twin Blade. Point defense drones activates and tries to assist the VXs and Tengus as Berat throws in the towel and gives Suxpitze another point on the board. Which takes us to game number 3. Suxpitze being on match point and all. If he wins, he moves up in the brackets to round 3. And Barrett will move to the lower bracket. Loser bracket. Let's see. Double clicking at Barrett, spawning yet again as a random Soviet versus a Suxpitze's Empire. Doja Core barely escaping with its life. It can be repaired and sold later. The engineer does not get sniped by the bears. And Suxpitze finds the opportunity to try and steal the dojo. However, the dojo is just gonna get killed by the flag troopers. And then Barat is just gonna get back to destroying the nearby civilian structures, I believe. No? Not yet. Berstrom gets cleaned up. Superactor up and running. Tier 2 for the Soviets. Might be tier 2 here. This is tier 2. No, that is actually a Tengu. With that, the last dojo has been constructed. Hammer tanks advancing. Tengu's not going to be able to do much about the hammer tanks. So Suxpitze needs to get out some tank busters or get tier 2 rather ASAP. The flag trooper sadly fails to deal with the Tengu. Both of them fails to deal with the Tengu, as he was probably busy looking elsewhere. Did not realize that the Tengus were harassing his ore collectors fast enough. Terror drone shows up a little bit late, but shows up nonetheless, as the Tengu barely escapes with a sliver of health, which is not visible in the bottom right, but it is visible on its HP bar if you notices it. A new tank has arrived to the party, and is just met with the hammer tank. Barrett getting his airfield up and running, getting ready to spam out some mids and twin blades. Terradron getting some nice clean kills on the Imperial Warriors that is trying to banzai charge the nearby civilian structure. Bear advancing in both directions. Three revs versus 2 revs. Tengus and VXs flying about now. No tsunami tanks to be seen as Barat takes the opportunity with an economy lead and just advances. Nicely saving his twin blade by telling one of his units to land, no, to get into it, which was the bullfrog, which also got saved by getting picked up, which is kind of funny. Oh, there's the VXs. As the twin blades get cleaned up by the VXs, the conscripts and bears clean up the nearby infantry. Terradron shows up and says hello, as the bullfrog does as much damage as it can to the VX before it perishes away. Several Terradrons has been constructed. Airfield has taken a lot of damage from the VXs earlier. And the Tengus move in, trying to get the clean kill of the twin blade, and it does succeed. But one Tengu trades its life for it, as the airfield gets sold off. Terradron, however, only one of them perishes, and out pops a hammer tank. A nice clean stun of the 2 units. And the Terradron gets the infect on the of the Tengu. Desolate the airstrike getting called down, striking the civilian structure and forcing them out of this location. As the VX shows up to the party and the Tengu tries to harass and finish the job of the ore collector. In the meantime, the flag trooper is somehow deciding to exist in the middle of the sky and destroys the oil derrick of Pizza. No new expansions for either player, so Barat is just slowly but surely getting a massive economic lead here. However, he still needs to be careful to not trade too many units at once, so that Barat has the slight lead there and then, and that's enough to just walk all over him. Down goes the barracks, and that slight lead might be coming soon here. As the Terradron stops the hammer tanks from moving around, and the hammer tank shows up to provide its undying support. Alright, Flag Trooper showcasing how it looks inside of a civilian structure by moving around. Ore Collector just enjoying his time, slowly working away. Interesting to look at that Flag Trooper, honestly. He's still alive. He's still alive. VX has come back and shows up, not willing to give up and killing the super actor, but Engineer pops out in time and saving it so that the bullfrogs can get there in time and force them away from the location. As the Tengu goes and harassing the ore collectors in multiple locations at once here. VX is moving up, trying to get to the MCV in time so before the bullfrogs can catch up to him. That ore collector will perish, but he's using Cash Bounty to mitigate the damages. However, he needs to send those bullfrogs ASAP over to the MCV to have a chance at saving it. But that MCV is just going to go down. He sells off the MCV to make sure he get a little bit of money back and gets an engineer out of it. Twin blades popping out. Is there a new airfield? There is a completely new airfield. As the bullfrog pushes and advances forward. However, Suxpizza does not have the income to keep on mass producing nearly as much as as Barrett is. And down goes the VXs, unfortunately. And right now, as long as Barrett mass produces, he will be able to win in the situation he's in. Get some nice crushes as he moves his conscript out of the building. Bullfrog got killed and sniped, most unfortunately. But transfers its heroic status to the conscript. MCV slowly being forced back up. Civilian structure getting cleaned. And with that, this is looking extremely grim. Trying to kill off the last remaining ore collectors so he can just try and survive, as Barrett would not be able to produce. However, Barrett doesn't need to produce, he already has the troops in your base. Get some nice crushes out there, and the Twin Blade shows up to provide their firing support against the tank busters. With no MCV, if that Mecha Bay goes down, it is all over. And that it is already. That Tengu can't deal with Twin Blades and Bullfrogs at the same time, and the Hammerjacks. The VXs and Tengus are trying to base race this out now. However, Barrett has more buildings. It does not matter to Barrett whether he allows the dojo to remain alive for a little bit longer. Tengus tried to show up and provide some support, but down goes one of the Tengus, as the civilian structure is still having a flag trooper chipping at the HP of the Tengu. Bullfrogs cleaning up the remaining 3 Tengus, and with that, there is no hope for Suxpizza. Suxpizza throws in a towel, and Barrett has a point on the board. Alright. I got my text message. It's Christmas tomorrow for us in Norway. We celebrate it tomorrow, so I just gotta make sure that nothing is changing in the plans, since it's getting late and people will head to bed without getting more information. So alright. With that, Barrett and Suxpizza is at it again, and he's still playing random, so let's figure out which faction it is. It's Empire Suxpizza versus Empire Barrett. It's a mirror match to tie it all off. Suxpizza never knowing what Barrett was getting or playing as for the better first minute of the game until his scouts got across the map. Barrett having the knowledge that he can do more cheeky plays should he so desire, but has not opted to go for risky plays such as triple ref or 3 refs before mecha or anything like that. He's sticking to the book and he's playing as standard as he can, trying to make sure that Suxpizza does not get an upper hand. However, it seems like Suxpizza has gotten his Tengu production going a little bit sooner, but overall it is extremely even currently. Barrett showing up to deal with the Tengu that is trying to stop his Imperial Warriors from killing the civilian structure. Now the Oil Dark. And Suxpizza is getting a early advantage in the Tengu numbers. However, that number advantage just got equalized and then given back to him. Barat having to deal with Tengus all over the place. Being delayed in its economy a little bit more than Sukspizza. Sukspizza is just driving almost straight back in. And he's just taking the fight head on. In the meantime, the Tengu is barely escaping. Sukspizza is just trying to capitalize on what he can. The burst drone is trying to do as much damage as possible. And the burst drone succeeds in doing so. Getting the Tengu to just keep force firing the Ore Collector in an attempt to finish off the burst drone before it could detonate. In the meantime, Barat is moving in to try and kill the Ore Collectors yet again. With how injured this one is, this is not looking too good for Sukspizza. But that is being equalized surprisingly fast. As the Tengus land all over and secure kill after kill on each other. One Ore Collector will go down, and it's Barat's Ore Collector that will go down first in this match. Sukspizza keeps keeping his Tengus alive. However, Barat is taking the opportunity and strikes really hard against these Tengus, getting 2 Tengu kills there, giving himself a little bit of a Tengu advantage. While he's rebuilding his Ore Collector, he could take that opportunity to simply fight and kill Tengus on the low ground. However, he is interested in fighting the Tengu Ore Collector, which is going to capitalize on his horrible discharge. Or attempt to at the very least, but forcing the Tengus to overall move and not shoot for a little bit longer. The Ore Collector has perished, and Barat is looking into a very good position here, as the Harvester is not doing so hot. Being in red HP, there's the MCB cell. Barat should have seen that. There's a refinery cell. Sukspizza is going to go all in with this right now. He goes for the kill on the last Ore Collector. And with that, it is all or nothing at this point. He's gonna mass produce, and Barat has to hold out. There's an MCB cell from Barat himself. It's up to this. This is the final fight here. Ore Collector goes down. But because of the refinery cell as well, Sukspizza will have an ever so slight advantage. However, the fact that he had to rebuild his Ore Collector will put him at a major disadvantage. As long as Sukspizza, now Barat, can keep this Ore Collector alive without having to lose it, he can just keep a Tengu advantage. He doesn't even need to rebuild this one. He can just sell that off and not really care. Unfortunately for him, he's lost both, and he's trying to rebuild everything at once, and he's completely out of money. He's making a major mistake here. He should have just kept that one alive and fought around this area here, and ignored this one for the rest of the game. Also, Sukspizza still has his oil derrick. Barat sending off a Tengu with one singular veteran C, making sure that it does as much damage as possible before it gets to the repair drone. However, the repair drone will make sure the Tengu can't do anything to it. And there comes the Tengu, and down goes the Tengu, transferring its veteran C to his enemy. A new Ore Collector has popped out, but at this point it is over, as there is no Tengus to defend him, and Barat has lost the game. And there's the tier 2 to finish the job. Oh well. With that, Barat goes down to the loser bracket, and Sukspizza moves up to round number 3. We can now take a look at the current standings in the tournament. Let's see. Intermission. We can just turn off random draw. Holy, that's no was. bit much. Anyways, let's see. Where is the chalong? There we go. Interact. Thank you very much. So we have looked at Green Alert versus Zed, Barrett versus Sux Pizza, Dachi versus Alvinte, Obiek versus Pencil Boy, Latex versus Pencil Boy over here. Other Dawn. No, we did not watch those. Right. We did not look at the rest over there. Alright. Still spent about 3 hours doing this so far, so I don't want to cast all of them. I have done that before, and then I cast it for like 8 hours straight. In any case, the current standings are Green Alert and Zed. Green Alert moved up. The Green Alert and C9 played their games today, so he's already moved up to round 4. Six Pizza and Dachi are gonna face up somewhat time later this week. Obiek and Dutch Army are gonna face sometimes later this week. Other Dawn and Andre are gonna face sometimes later this week. In the loser bracket, on the other hand, we have Mastermind and Black Hand, who's gonna face each other sometime soon. Barrett and Alvin Tay, who's gonna face each other sometime soon. And Speransky and Maximus, which I should update right now as they are actually finished with their games. Maximus won against Speransky 2-0. There we go. Oh, that's a quick play, actually. That's nice. Which means later this week it's gonna be Zed versus Maximus. In the loser brackets, for those who are unaware and hasn't been reading red on the middle of the screen there. Oh yeah, and C9 versus Pencil Boy. It is a best of 3. And in the winner bracket, it is a best of 5 all the way to the finals, which is going to be a best of 7s, with the loser bracket finals being a best of 5. It is a double elimination, which means anyone who is still up here still has a chance at coming back should they lose one of their rounds. If you lose in loser bracket, you're completely out of the tournament. The tournament will be continuing to go over several weeks, and should these players be finished doing their games by, let's see, the 28th, as in Saturday this week, I will be able to cast some more games. From the 29th, as in Sunday this week, and until about, 4th of January next year, I will not be at my computer and be unable to continue to cast. However, I will cast once I return home. So, the tournament will continue into January, most likely. So, place your bets on who's gonna win the entire thing. Oh, Blackhand just informed me in the chat itself that Mastermind won 2-0. I'll write it down. That means Mastermind actually moves up in the loser bracket, and Blackhand is actually out of the tournament altogether. Very well. Well then, with that all said, I wish you all a happy Christmas if you celebrate on the 24th tomorrow, and a happy Christmas should you celebrate on the 25th. And overall, have a wonderful Xmas celebration throughout the week, and if I don't see you guys until the New Year's, Happy New Year everybody, and let's hope 2025 will be the year of some bigger tournaments in Redler Free. Goodbye, everybody.